Morning, everybody. Welcome to LOCPod Season 13, Episode 16. This is the Midwest's most dangerous podcast, coming to you live from the NECA IBEW Powering Indiana Lake County studio.
Good morning.
That was perfect.
Solid.
Dude, it only took me like 2.5 seasons to get that down.
Now you're a pro.
Enough time for us to get a new studio sponsor.
It's an exciting show today.
Morning, Joe.
Hey.
Very exciting.
Good to see
Very.
you.
I'm pumped.
Hey, Vez. Yeah, we have Indiana Democratic nominee for governor, Jennifer McCormick, coming on today. That's a great guest.
And coming in live. I did not know that until like 7:10, right, John? We were like...
She's working in the region, of course, because that's what you
great.
do. If you're running for governor, you come to the second most populated place in the state, and it's a big area for Democratic votes. So our Democratic nominee for governor is going to be in the region. And, of course, when you're in the region and you're running for office, you stop by LOCPod Studios.
I kind of like that as a must, like almost like this is a must stop.
I know. Is this our first time with Jennifer on the show?
Yeah.
Did we ever on Skype before?
No.
Or no, this is the first time. Okay, Destiny a couple times.
We had her running mate on the show.
Yes. Do we have Terry Gooden? No, you had Terry Gooden at a union hall.
Oh, crap. I'm like getting all my events mixed up.
You're busy, man.
I am.
You're a busy elected official. Speaking of which, I just want to at least mention this. I went to, we had Chairman Weiser on
the
Tuesday.
Democrat of the Year?
The Democrat of the Year. And here's the program. There was a really nice ad by the mayor in here.
Ooh.
And look at that photo, man. Look at you.
Yeah. Oh, I told them to use the nude one.
Oh, they did not.
No,
they used
look
at that nice photo.
It would have been a lot better with the nude picture.
Well,
The
not
tan
really.
looks nice
The tan
in that
looks
one.
great. Look
I
at that
was
tan.
like dead of summer. That was when I was running for
Senate. Yeah.
I was in the dead of summer when I took that. So
It was a nice event. Congratulations.
especially
Jim.
you see that in December, January. They're like, who is that dark, handsome man?
That's right. But good and nice event. It was good. This is something I generally we have like a green room here for the guests to come in, get a cup of coffee, relax before they come on the show. And
'Cause we're professional.
I put that's right, because we're medium quality entertainment.
That's right.
And I put on the TV. I usually put on the YouTube stream. John's helped me to figure that out. And I put it on, and up comes the music's on, the theme song. And the first thing I see is Tom with something like a white stick up his nose.
Oh, yeah. My boom boom stick.
Oh, God. What?
My boom boom stick.
You do not call it a boom boom stick.
That's the freaking
Get out of
name
your
it.
pants.
Is that the
Get
brand?
out of your pants with when
Boom
you say
boom.
boom. Oh,
See,
it really is.
People call me boom boom stick to some people.
I've never heard that.
I'm not
about
going to
you.
say it.
Is that your nickname in high school?
I'm not.
Yeah. Let's just leave it at that.
Or at home?
Boom boom
Is that your
stick.
nickname at home?
Dude. you're
So
trying
what
to get
is
me in
that? I
trouble,
was like,
doesn't
what
it?
is Tom sticking something up his nose?
I saw it on TikTok, actually.
Really?
And I ordered it. I had to.
Well, that and
It's
the
a
Chinese
sinus
underwear.
cleanser. No, the Chinese underwear we all agreed did not work out. It
And the
squeezed-
boom boom?
It squeezed the life out of me.
Yeah,
but-
it did.
well-
That's why you need the boom boom.
Well, the boom boom sticks for sinus problems.
Oh,
You guys are
man.
laughing, but it works.
You know what? As
It's
you know,
like-
I've had this consistent cough for about 8 weeks.
I would give it to you, but you have to stuff it up your nasty nose.
Maybe I'll buy one.
No, I have extras. I'll give you one.
All right. I'm going
You
to see if it
can
works.
try it. Just don't
I will.
bury it in that sucker. You know
No,
what
I
I'm
get
saying?
it. No, if
Like
you
you do it on
extra,
the outside.
Do
give
it
me an
right
extra.
now.
No.
Yeah, do it right now. Don't touch
What
your
if
I'm
I'm
telling
nose.
you,
Yeah.
it's impressive.
I mean,
Come
Tom
on,
doesn't
Kevin.
want me sticking his
No,
boom
don't
boom
put
up
it
there.
up
you
your nose.
could.
I don't want
We're
to
like
stick
brothers.
Tom's boom boom up my nose.
Oh, you don't want to do it your way.
I will. I do.
Okay, all right. There you go.
What
Here we go. Live.
do I
Take
have
a
to
hit.
do?
You sniff on each side.
Kevin
close one nostril?
ingesting
Sure, you could do it any way
It's
you
Chinese
not
want.
your first time.
salt.
Do I look like I know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
You're letting it touch your. Oh, you gotta
That's-
keep
yeah,
that
yeah.
now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a
Oh
Kleenex.
my
What a
God,
Kleenex.
dude.
Sorry, dude.
No, I'm just kidding.
No.
It's crazy, right?
Oh, my God. It cleared me up.
It's crazy.
That's really amazing, actually.
Yes.
Well,
It was
Boom Boom
amazing.
needs to be a sponsor, Steve.
Boom Boom sticks. They're not cheap, but I
That-
had to give it a shot because I saw the commercial and it was a really good commercial.
It's like a menthol.
It's like the
into your
most
nose
intense
that-
halls you've ever. It's like a smelling salt, sort of. It's so strong, it hits you. It's like whoa. It like,
I'm sold.
It's like crazy, right?
Oh,
Thank
look at
you.
this. They're
I
at
know.
CVS.
Oh.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're worth it. I would. Yeah, that's
there
them.
it is.
How much are they?
$20 for 3 packs.
Son of
That's a bargain.
I want you look at you get 3 flavors though: tropical,
Oh, I
mint,
bought
or winter
4.
mint.
I bought
Flavors.
4, and they were like.
I think
25.
Tom's was the blue one, mint.
Yeah, those
Man,
are
I gotta tell you, it is really working.
Boom Boom stick.
What's
All right.
in
Why
it?
would
I
you
gotta
want
see
to
what's in
snort
it.
something tropical?
I'm
See?
fine with that. If it clears up my
See?
nose,
TikTok is the
And helps
answer
my
to
cough,
everything.
I'm
Just
good.
get acupuncture.
They're gonna outlaw TikTok, and you can find freaking Boom Boom sticks on TikTok.
this is once again why Tom's a locomotive. He brings leadership. Like, look
Like,
at this.
let's
Nasal
go.
leadership.
There you go. See,
Nasal
like nasal leadership. There you go.
Is that
That's
the
show
title? Featuring
Sure.
Jennifer
Nasal
McCormick?
leadership. All right.
Poor Jennifer. She's like, oh, man.
Nasal leadership featuring our Democratic nominee. I don't know. It didn't flow, but
No,
whatever.
we'll figure it out. Let
Oh
me
my
read
God.
you the warning.
No, thank you.
Oh,
Do not,
shit.
John. No warning.
Yeah,
I don't want
Let me
to.
hear it. I've
Use
done,
of this stick by more than one person may spread infection.
Oh,
Throw that one out.
It's all right. It's
Kevin,
all
you
right.
have AIDS now.
No, Tom's clean.
Yeah. I don't use just the boom boom stick on my nose either. That's a weird thing. I'm like
Oh, don't
super
even.
aggressive with the boom boom stick.
Stop.
You can smell that
Stop.
all the way back here. Like you can smell the
Oh
menthol.
man, it's
Maybe I
super
took
strong.
an extra hit there because
No.
it's my first time with the boom
Before
boom.
the show. I hit it a little too hard. I heard something moving inside of there. I was
Uh-oh.
and it was like it burned. I was
See,
like, oh.
I got a little burning going on, but it's okay.
It's crazy
'Cause I
but
got
you
some-
could breathe
Yes.
through your nose.
Yeah.
See, that's what it's all about.
Thank you, Tom.
I'm gonna get it for my daughter too.
Oh.
who's perpetually
Yes, she's always stuffed,
perpetually stuffed up.
even with the sinus surgery.
I know.
All right, I'm clear.
It's because she's allergic to cats.
You know what? I'm so happy I saw it.
It's like, she doesn't listen. It's cool.
She loves cats, but she's allergic to them. I am so
Yeah,
happy I saw
everybody-
you stick that white thing up your nose on the TV this
You're
morning.
welcome.
That started
You're
this
welcome.
whole adventure for me. Thank you.
Dude, we had another blow up last night, Joe.
Really?
Another public meeting from hell.
Why do you keep doing these?
I'm the mayor. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to
Oh,
talk
okay.
to people. You're supposed to go out in public and like so. Last night we have this meeting about we're bringing an economic development initiative to a part of the city that's been underutilized. Let's just keep it that way, right? And it's been a park, but it's a rundown park. It's
Remote.
remote. It's like in the nook of the city, and it's hard for the police to patrol it because it's literally tucked away. And unfortunately, we've had violence in this park over the years.
Well, that was if I go back, I don't know when that was. Maybe 4 years, maybe
During COVID.
3, 4 years. Okay, so that was one of the reasons you challenged your team to say like we need a solution here.
Yeah, because there was a violent
Yeah.
episode that happened back there, and it's so we during the American Rescue Plan that came out, we earmarked $2.5 million
Yeah. Yep. For infrastructure.
for infrastructure
to do a road.
improvements, and then we subdivided this entire area. We also brought in a $40 million senior assisted living center to this area. So we estimate we're bringing literally $50 million to this part of the city, which is it's a part of the city. It's about 100 years ago it was thriving, and unfortunately it's become a little run down, a little old over the years, and
But
now,
still stable and a
yeah,
lot.
a lot of homeowners.
Yeah, a lot of
proud
homeowners stable, and part of the issue is right that they don't have a lot of new housing.
Right. So we want to fix that. So we do this meeting last night just because we are communicators in my government. We don't have to do these meetings.
Yeah,
We're
there's
doing
no,
it just
there's
to
no
be
legal
like-
requirement.
So we're like just trying to be transparent and like, hey, we're coming to your neighborhood to talk about a project.
And
We
good
also
neighbors.
did one already.
Yeah,
We did
office.
one where there was changes that the neighbors wanted, and we implemented those changes.
Well,
And
and you promised you'd have one more meeting, so you can
there
update
we are.
everyone.
We're coming back with the changes that we made with the last meeting. We noticed the meeting the same way we noticed the previous one, which was highly attended and contentious, quite frankly. I remember getting yelled at by a couple people in the audience during that meeting. So last night's meeting, I walk in and it's dead. There's hardly anybody there. But like,
a lot of staff, right? A lot of your staff.
well, yeah,
is
but
there.
like we had to be there because we're ready to answer questions.
Oh, can I mention one more thing that you said yesterday that I thought was important? You mentioned that you're in this neighborhood every day.
I work there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Every
far from
single
City
day,
Hall.
Every day of my life, I'm in this neighborhood. It's a great neighborhood. It's a neighborhood that, it's a historical neighborhood. And so anyway, I walk into the meeting. There's not a lot of people there. It's much less attended than the last meeting. But that didn't surprise me because I've learned in time, I don't know if you guys agree with this, when somebody's pissed off, you don't have to worry about notice for the meeting.
Yep.
When people are pissed off, everybody shows up and they're pissed. And they're wearing the similar colors. They got signs. They're calling my office. Pissed off, right?
People find out about meetings that are about issues that they're upset about.
So last night I walk in. There's hardly anybody there. I mean, there's literally like less than a dozen residents, and there's a lot of my staff there. So like I walk in. I don't see a lot of people, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, this makes sense to me because this is a positive project. And when you're talking about positive things, people don't show up because it's positive. They're not pissed off. They're like, okay,
Yeah,
it's going to be a great project.
I'm going to have dinner at home tonight. I don't
Right.
need to go there.
I don't need to go there. We already had our input. They already implemented our input. I already, have seen this presentation. I don't need to be there for part 4 or whatever.
Without a doubt. That is absolutely, we've said that. I mean, you've been in politics for 20 plus years. I've been following along, and that is absolutely true. When there is a positive thing going on, you're like, okay, well, all the people that agree with this, they're at home. They're not coming out.
So we walk in last night to a building. I don't need to go to this building either. This building is like a historical, important building, especially in the African-American community in my city. This is a historical building. It's the Philistine Center. Before this building, it was a really historical building. So there's a lot of community sentiment towards this building, the Philistine Center. It's run by a private organization. I go to it as much as I can because I think when the mayor goes to this building, it brings people to it. We have meetings there. I think it's important for me to recognize this important building. So I show up to the building. The lady that runs the building is somebody I've known for 20 years. Okay. So I hug her upon entering. Her name is Miss Dent. She's a nice lady. I've known her for 20 something years. I don't know what happened last night, but Miss Dent was pissed at me. Like I don't know. I'm coming to your neighborhood with $50 million in development. Miss Dent's a nice lady. I've known her for a long time, but we just had it out last night. Like I couldn't believe what was going on.
Yeah. It was pretty wild to see.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with the first remark she?
Yeah. Why don't we start at meeting at 7:06?
And this was just so everyone knows, Tom had just started talking, and he actually said he wanted to get through kind of the overview of this before they took questions, and that didn't turn out to be the case.
Yeah, it was like a hand went up, and it
right
was
away
like before we even got through the intros.
So I have a question though.
Yep.
So is the center is that staying or
Yeah.
that's good? Okay.
Oh yeah. This
Oh
is
no,
okay,
yeah.
that's
This
what I
doesn't
thought. I
affect
just-
this. Yeah,
okay.
good question. It does not affect the center. It in my opinion, it assists the center by building 35 brand new houses around it. It's going to have a senior assisted living center. It's going to make this neighborhood thrive even more than it is now. It's $50 million in new renovations coming in there. So if I have a house there right now, yeah, it'll be a little bit more crowded when this is all said and done. But I think your house is probably going to be worth 20% more than it is now. We're going to make it more valuable.
New development always helps, and having 120 senior units is going to help also with housing, because people that may live in their current home that are older will move to the senior center.
So I show up to this meeting being honest. In my head, I'm like, this is going to be the easiest meeting we've had in a long time because this is nothing but good news.
Which is why it was so shocking.
That's
right?
why I was so stunned. I'm like, how? Like, so anyway, now keep in mind, Miss Dent and I know each other well. I've known her for over 20 years, and she runs this center, which gets tons of money from the city, tons of support. Like I said, I'm voluntarily there. So like I'm walking into somebody else's house. You don't expect to get just slapped as soon as you walk into somebody else's house.
So this is the first question out of the box.
7:06.
Okay. Mayor, I have been in this city for 84 years. I'm 84 years old. I've lived in the East Hammond community all of my life. This meeting tonight, I've talked to 5 people who are in this community, who have lived here, who have been participants in the city process for years, knew nothing about this meeting. I'm wondering, how was it advertised? And why were the citizens in this area, why they were not notified, since they have their stakeholders here? Had I not been the director of the building here and scheduled this meeting, I would not have known.
I'll be honest with you. We don't have to do what we're doing right now. Like, this is being honest. We don't have to go.
You don't have to do it, understand, but I would think with you being mayor,
Yes, ma'am. That's
this,
why I'm here.
these are the citizens.
I have no idea what we did.
I'm not going to argue with you
I'm
about
not
it.
going to argue with you either.
But that's just, I'm just letting.
So you're starting to get a taste of this is. I'm there announcing $50 million in new investment. The lady that runs the center that I'm voluntarily holding a meeting at, and I'm voluntarily going there. City Hall is 2 blocks away. I could have had this meeting in City Hall easily and not get yelled at by the person that runs City Hall, because we run City Hall, right? Instead, I voluntarily go to a building that's run by Miss Dent and a board and just start getting yelled at basically as soon as the meeting starts.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have some opinions on how this went down. I guess I can hold them, but maybe one of them I would just say is that, like you previewed, you know Miss Dent, I know Miss Dent, a lot of people at your staff know Miss Dent, and I thought there was ample ways to go about this differently, including letting you know about maybe that she felt that there was not a good notification when you gave her a hug and talked to her before the meeting started.
Walked in, gave her a hug because I'm like, hi, Miss Dent, and I gave her a hug. And she hugged back, by the way. And perfect opportunity, like you said, Kevin. Like, Mayor, there's not a lot of people here, and I think it's because your staff didn't do a good job. I wish that's how it would have started. Off the record. Away from, and then I would have been like, what? And then maybe I could explain to her, maybe, Miss Dent, part of the reason there's not a lot of people here is because this is a real positive project, and people don't show up for positive things. They show up when they're pissed.
It's kind of like the off-the-record stuff should be off the record. And I felt like she was, and I same thing. I respect her, right? I like Miss Dent. I just thought that it was like she was trying to grandstand or do something like to embarrass you.
Yes.
Yeah. You bring up a good point, Kevin, because I actually woke up thinking the same thing. I thought, like, and this is no disrespect to Miss Dent, but I just wasn't raised this way. If I had an issue like this, it doesn't seem like one to bring up in public.
In front of you run that place. Miss Dent relies on gaming money from the city of Hammond, donations from the city of Hammond. We are voluntarily there. I don't need to be there. I go there out of respect for the community.
I thought she was trying to embarrass you, and I thought
she was trying. Why are we pussyfooting around? She was trying to embarrass me.
Yeah,
absolutely trying to embarrass me.
Yeah, I didn't understand that tact.
Well, if you thought that was bad, it gets a lot worse.
Yeah.
Someone actually shows up who was watching the stream.
So Miss Dent,
this
is where. So now we're trying to go through the meeting and talk about the issues because this has nothing to do with why I'm there. It's like a total extraneous side issue that is like sucking the life out of this meeting because she's like pissed and like pissed at me and yelling at me in front of a whole bunch of people.
I swear to you, what I thought when she raised her hand, I thought she was going to say, Mayor, I wanted to welcome you to the Ophelia Steen Center.
And I did too.
Thanks for coming. I know that you had a meeting in January. We're happy for the follow-up.
Yes.
We're excited about the project. Thank you.
Because we're not.
That's what I thought she was going to say. I was like sitting there like, what the F is going on?
What do you? And I'm in front of everybody.
I know.
Like, what the F is going on?
Right.
And like, why would the lady that runs this center try to embarrass the mayor like that? John, it goes back to something you said, and this is something I thought last night. If one of my kids would have done this to the mayor, oh my God, I would be so pissed at my kids. Like, are you kidding me? This is how you try to resolve business? You're embarrassing our family.
You're not going to get any. I mean, I don't understand what you think you're going to get out of this.
I will never go back into the Ophelia Steen Center again. I will never go back there as mayor. Like, what would you do if you knocked on somebody's door and they embarrassed you and they threw you out? Would you ever go back to their house?
I probably would not.
I'm not. Like, I didn't have to be there in the first place. I was there on a voluntary meeting because I wanted to communicate with my residents. I was in that meeting not because I didn't have a place to hold the meeting. I have a place that's better 2 blocks away. I was there out of respect for the community. The lady that I've known for a long time that runs the center that's received hundreds of thousands of dollars through my administration decides this is the time to embarrass the mayor. And I'm supposed to do business with them the rest of my term?
Do you want to go to...
I don't think it's necessary.
This is it?
It gets worse.
It does get...
It gets worse.
A lot worse.
So, like, this leads me to believe... So this is 2 for 2. My last 2 meetings in the public were just brutal. Like, some residents show up, and they just want to, like, blow the meeting up. Like, I want to embarrass the mayor because he is brave enough to hold these open public meetings like this. My purpose in life is to show up and scream at him.
Right, for a $40 million great residential project in your community.
Right.
Like, there's no, like... there wasn't even any real criticism last night. There was a couple of people
there
were
was criticism about how I handled this.
But not. I'm talking about the project.
At me. I agree.
A couple of residents came in and were like, "Hey, are the roads going to be okay?
Yes.
How are they working this?
Is it going to flood?
Right.
What about the animals? The normal stuff.
Sure.
Right. And then what about the notice? It's like
what?
There is no notice for a voluntary meeting. We've noticed it the same way we noticed the last one that had a bunch of people show up.
That's right.
Right.
I actually don't even remember a lot of people at the last one.
There's probably like 40, right? But it
was
like
you don't
think
dozen.
30 maybe.
No,
I don't know.
But and you can tell from the stream too, like the numbers on the stream, if it's a meeting people even want to listen to as well. So, for example, last night there wasn't really many viewers. Now, this has had a slow burn overnight. We're already at 4,000 views.
Yeah, it was at 2,500 last night.
Yeah, so this is kind of taken off.
Because people are talking to each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, did you see what happened last night? Miss Dent and the mayor got in a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Miss
like,
Dent was
my opinion,
disrespected.
she showed up. She was intent on embarrassing me, and she succeeded. Good job. I don't understand what the purpose of that is. I don't understand how that helps Ophelia Steen at all.
If it was like, we're going to have a notice to close down the Ophelia Steen Center.
Right.
Like, and
I've made people
something
angry
like that.
before.
It's like,
when people
then
are pissed, Kevin,
they're
going to
come out.
Yeah. So we were going to cover a lot more of this. I don't think it's necessary. I think
right.
you get the idea because
there was somebody that came in that really aggravated me.
I got it queued up. You want to play
yeah,
it?
cue it up. Cue
Right,
it up.
it's here.
So she comes in. So the lady comes in off the street. She's Miss Dent's cousin,
a relative of some sort.
Yeah.
Right. All right. She was watching the stream at home.
and she came to the meeting to yell at me.
This was flabbergasting.
I wanted to come. My son had surgery 2 days ago.
I'm sorry.
Not a problem. My cousin, Albertine Jen, you know her very well.
Oh yeah, everybody knows.
What I saw online was completely and utterly disrespectful.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So we have to ensure that we are understanding that it is not a personal attack against you just because everyone didn't know. I know you take your staff and what they do and don't do to heart, understandable. But we have to stop with the passive, aggressive, condescending attitude. No one is saying that we're not excited about what's coming to the area. But what we are saying is enough people may not have known. Everyone isn't on Facebook.
All right, I appreciate it. Man.
So I do believe.
Do you have a question about the project?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do believe that you owe her a personal and public apology, whether she wants it or not.
Okay.
Is deserved.
Okay.
That was totally uncalled for.
I don't really agree with you, I'll be honest
That
with
was
you.
totally
But I respect
uncalled
your
for.
stand. But all right, that's your opinion.
Thank you.
Okay.
That
what's your
right there,
question?
that's what I'm talking about.
Where was
We
the
have to
question
stop.
that she
There was
had?
no question.
There was no question.
The question
Yes,
was,
I have a question.
I think the question was, and it wasn't a question, but I think her question was, I owe Miss Dan an apology, and I didn't agree. and I mean, maybe I'm being stubborn, but I did nothing.
Well, but
wrong.
by the way, you did apologize.
I
And you
did
said
apologize if I offended.
Yeah.
I said something like, if I offended her, I didn't mean to. But like, and then when I'm confronted like that, like, I want you to apologize to me. I'm like, what did I?
Yeah.
I showed up to her building to hold a public meeting and was respectful, and I owe her apology. Come on.
So what she was saying was, we're not saying we don't love the project. What we're saying is we want something to complain about.
Yeah, it was like
that's what
basically.
I think it is. Yeah.
That's being mayor.
It's these public Tom. I think it's just getting more difficult. The public.
Well, look at the
society
country.
in gen-
Look at what we have going on in the
What
country.
was John going to say?
Yeah,
I
same
just
thing.
can't believe this happened last night. That's what I was going to say.
I'm stunned.
Yeah.
I'm bringing $50 million to an impoverished part of my city. $50 million. New infrastructure, new economic development, new residents, new houses, new everything. And the leader of the center, I decided to hold the meeting and decides this is the time to confront the mayor, embarrass the mayor, tell the mayor he didn't notice the neighborhood well enough. Like,
But, yeah, I mean, I think what John was saying was what I was saying, which is that this is just one snippet of what's going on in America.
Yep.
That the temperature is up. Because, like, it would be one thing if, like, there was terrible things going on in Hammond and, you know, the government was awry and everything was going terrible. That's not the case.
No, and it actually got me thinking about the mayor's night out meeting, the recent one, of Ken yelling. Can you imagine
from the audience
doing that in a public? It goes back to, like, my parents would have beat the shit out
Oh,
of
my
me.
God. I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what has happened to society, man? You know?
Maybe, hopefully, it gets better after president's race is over.
I hope so. I mean, civility is gone, and I hate to say this, but civility being gone, I really point to one person.
I agree. But of course.
Obama?
Yeah.
No, Obama's probably one of the most. Obama's probably one of the most
President
respectful,
Obama,
civil.
He had to be.
Yeah.
He had to be.
Yeah.
If Obama was anything like approaching what Trump pulls,
Oh.
Obama would have been run out of the country.
Yeah, and
he had to be perfect.
He was Yeah, he had to be, and he was.
Yeah.
And he was great.
Yep.
Yep.
Anyway.
All right. Hey, speaking of LOCPod,
Yes.
LOCPod in the news, an old segment.
What?
Thanks to our
Yeah.
locomotive.
Page 3, Times, Dan Carden article. Dan Carden, thank you, sir. He's a LOCPod listener. I'm pretty sure. I mean, we can't tell exactly, but I'm pretty sure. But Dan Carden wrote a letter about our last show.
Hopefully
and
LOCPod
another
subscriber.
perfect example of how it sounds great on LOCPod, but when you read it Sunday morning in the newspaper, it just doesn't have the same thing.
It doesn't sound quite as cool as.
It's like, oh, God, why did they do that to me? So let's see. What did they? So this was about Todd Rikita. And it's funny, Kevin, when we're doing these bits on the show, which ones, if you knew, like, okay, one bit from today's show is going to make the media,
That was it.
Yeah, I guess
I
so.
felt like it.
I didn't. I guess I should have been thinking differently during that segment because I was cursing up a storm.
Well,
and of course I'm like getting quoted verbatim.
Well, I think it's election season, and you kind of made it into an election thing that it really wasn't in the original print. The original press release. You were like, "This is why he's doing this."
Oh yeah.
And I think that was.
Oh, that whole part about our Oscar Martinez's last name, Martinez, and how Rikita couldn't pass that up because it was red meat for his base. Yeah, Dan quoted me word for word on that whole part. And
except for the.
Oh, it didn't curse. It has blank. It says expletive.
Can we read that?
What is it? Go ahead.
No, it's expletive, bull, expletive. The Lake County Sheriff did nothing wrong. This expletive hat attorney general of ours wastes your money suing people, threatening to sue people instead of doing his expletive job. It's a disgrace.
See, they'd sell more papers if they just put ass hat.
Yeah.
You know?
Spell it out.
Spell it out.
No.
Spell it out. We're all adults. There's no little kids reading the newspaper.
I
They're
was
not
just
reading that
quoting, by the
article.
way.
Adults aren't reading the newspaper either.
Okay. So just spell it out. They'd sell more papers. If I said,
No.
the F word, then spell it out.
I
Why?
think they like it because it's like it lets people do an what do they call that, anagram
Yeah,
or whatever?
yeah.
Or not
So-
anagram. Is that what it's called?
All right,
I
let's go
forget.
through it.
Mad
Let's
Libs.
go through
Tom's
it.
Wordle.
Mad Libs. It's Tom's Mad Libs.
No, it's expletive, bull, expletive. What's that one, guys?
Effing BS.
Okay. The Lake County Sheriff did nothing wrong. This expletive hat attorney general of ours wastes our money.
F-A.
MF?
No, I think it was.
Fucking asshat.
Yes.
This fucking asshat attorney general.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez. Oh,
You
Lord.
waste
All right.
your money suing people, threatening to sue people instead of doing his expletive
effing
job.
I think is what it was.
Oh, by the way, Kevin told me before the show started today, hey, man, Jennifer McCormick's on the show. Make sure we don't cuss a lot.
Don't swear a lot.
No.
My bad.
I'll
Keeping it
leave.
respectful today.
Jennifer's a normal person.
She is.
This is
Well,
not
and I'm
friendship.
sure you're very good friends with Destiny.
And Destiny,
who's running against Todd Rikita, and I'm sure she probably I don't know if she shares our opinion on this, but it just seemed very interesting timing to me that right before the election, 3 counties, Monroe, St. Joe, and Lake, all get a letter from the Attorney General about immigration.
right, right. It's a
And like
joke.
I said,
It's
the
a
fact
joke.
that we have a Latin or Hispanic sheriff was just gravy on top of the mashed potatoes for the
So
Attorney
him
General.
being Oscar Martinez, like if Oscar changed his name to Oscar Jones, would he have received that lawsuit?
I think he still gets the letter, but I think
He
it's
gets
just
the letter.
Like,
It's not as sexy though.
it's not as sexy.
It's like the Lake County Sheriff Oscar Jones received the following letter. No,
Right.
but
Well, like-
the Lake County Sheriff Oscar Martinez received the following letter, and then people are drawing their own conclusions.
Sure.
It's bullshit. The whole thing. The Attorney General is violating the oaths of office. The Attorney General should be disciplined for the stunts he's pulling because he is using the highest legal office in the state of Indiana for complete political purposes. And how could he not get disciplined for this, Kevin?
Well,
you see this stuff all the time.
I mean, I think that if I'm playing devil's advocate here, I would say, oh well, this is a legal issue. It has to do with ICE. It has to do with the failure to detain, and so he's going to argue, and probably successfully, he's got a legal basis for it.
All right. How about speaking of investigations?
Yes.
I was thinking the other day after our show, we were talking about the Elon Musk $1 million giveaway, Joe. So Elon Musk is going to the battleground states, and he's offering people to register to vote in the battleground states. If you sign a petition supporting the First and Second Amendment, you enter a chance to receive a daily $1 million prize. Elon Musk will give out $1 million every day up until Election Day.
Wait. Why do you need a petition for the First and Second
Because it gets you
Amendment?
around the requirement that you can't pay people to register to vote, and you can't pay people to vote, right?
It's already a thing. What do you need a petition?
But like, if you're like, hey, I support the second, they should have just clarified it with the Second Amendment because the First Amendment's so broad.
Yeah, very broad.
But if you say I support the Second Amendment, you're saying
there's a lot of liberal, things in the First Amendment that people,
Yeah,
these people
that's true.
that are
I
voting for
agree.
Trump may not like.
So anyway,
You'd have to read it.
Freedom of
first.
religion.
So anyway, getting into why we're doing this bit is because you're scratching your head. It's like, so in Lake County, let's say this. I'm not Elon Musk, but my campaign has some money, right? Let's say I want to drive up voter turnout here in the region, Kevin. And I'm like, you know what I'm going to do in the region? The Committee to Elect Tom McDermott's going to give $10,000 to anybody that votes early between now and Election Day. Anybody that early votes, I'm going to do a daily $10,000 prize, courtesy of Committee to Elect Tom McDermott. The whole purpose of this is to drive out voter turnout. I want people to early vote. I want to get our votes on the line, right? So we do this. Kevin, am I going to jail?
Your good friend the caboose over here would have you in front of the Lake County Election Board. I probably wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to sit for it. Of
My
course, I'd
caboose would
recuse
take me?
myself. No,
Right.
I would recuse myself. But
you're the caboose.
Wouldn't that
I
be
would say
funny?
that.
but you would be in some trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look.
But even though
we-
you want to drive out voter turnout.
we stopped somebody from giving away ice cream. We
Oh,
stopped somebody at
What?
a restaurant for giving 10% off the meal if you voted.
That's
so
right.
if I give out $10,000.
You'd be in some trouble.
So,
and I think that
so how does Elon Musk give $1 million away? Is it because he's so rich and powerful?
no, well, he's $1 million to Elon Musk is probably like a penny, but I think the point here is that he's trying to skirt around what is prohibited under federal election law, which is you cannot give money away for either a vote or to encourage people to vote.
So if you support the First or Second Amendment and you're in a battleground state, you can give money away for that, Kevin?
He's trying to say you can. I thought this was interesting. The Justice Department sent a letter to the super PAC, which is founded by Elon Musk, warning that awarding $1 million to registered voters who signed a petition might violate federal laws against paying voters, according to two people with knowledge of the situation.
You know what you do when you get that letter? You completely freaking reverse course. Because they're telling you, if you keep doing this, we're going to indict you. And then you got your own set of problems, Elon. You know, you are rich and powerful. I'm sure you got great lawyers, but getting indicted by the Department of Justice is a bad day, no matter who you are.
Yeah, and similar
Even
warning
Donald
letters. Similar warning letters from the department's public integrity unit have been sent to businesses and organizations that tied promotions to voting and are intended to suggest that continuing such an activity could result in a criminal investigation. So it's not there yet. The other thing that was interesting,
But getting
was,
that letter is
oh yeah, I mean it's like
your
the
nuts
warning. It's
clench
like the
up.
shot across the bow. It's like okay,
Yeah.
I think we better stop. And the interesting thing was his super PAC did not give away the $1 million the next day.
which means
So that was interesting.
Elon's
I don't know if he
listening.
did the following day.
Yeah,
Well.
this is 1 hour ago from Axios. He defied
Oh, he did. Okay,
the letter
Shit.
and
he did. He gave it away.
announces
Are we
$1 million
shocked by this?
giveaway.
he's going to get indicted. Elon Musk is going to get indicted,
If
ladies
he
and
can,
gentlemen.
well, unless
We're-
Trump wins, and then he's off the hook for all the things.
unless
he's-
Trump wins.
Oh. being investigated
he's
for.
safe. For sure, he's safe if Trump wins.
Yeah.
There's
right.
no way.
Isn't that a joke, though? Isn't
Which
that a
is-
joke, though?
That is the fact that we're
like if
saying
Trump
that.
wins, this criminal, like because he's breaking the law. I'm not calling him a criminal, but he's breaking the law. You can't do this shit. But Elon could do it because he's a billionaire, right? And if Trump wins, that means Elon, you could break the law as long as your buddy wins. If your buddy loses, you're going to freaking jail.
And
Yeah.
that's the America of today because all of a sudden now, whoever's in charge of the presidency, I guess, now we can decide who gets indicted and who doesn't, which is ridiculous.
Elon's super PAC announced 2 lottery winners Thursday.
Oh, make up for
defying
Wednesday.
a warning from the Justice Department.
Okay.
He must have met with his attorneys.
He's
Yep.
stupid, man.
He
He's
did.
a dumb. He's a dumb.
I just think it's risky.
Freaking billionaire.
It's risky.
I hope he goes to jail over this. I really
No.
do. It would be so wonderful to see that billionaire sitting his ass in prison. What
I
an
don't know.
asshole.
He's pushing it, man. He's all in with Trump, and I think he's all in with Trump because he feels like I got a lot of investigations going. He has some SEC stuff
He
going on
does,
too.
Kevin. Remember the 420
So
stuff?
he's like, I'm gonna go in all in with Trump, and if Trump wins, I'm good. And
So
by
you
the time
think-
Trump's
so-
done,
So you think that he's worried about the SEC stuff? He thinks he's going down on the SEC stuff, so he has to get involved in politics because his buddy Trump will forgive him.
I think that if he's worried about going down the SEC stuff, and he needs to get on board with somebody, so he's going on board with Trump, and he's hoping he
it's
wins.
not going to be Kamala.
It was not
apparently.
Kamala. It might have been might have been several years ago when he was more of kind of a liberal in California, but now he's not. Now he's all Trump. He's all in. He's jumping like a little kid in a playground on stage with Trump.
It's weird to me, man, because he relies so heavily on like government incentives for all
Exactly.
his businesses.
Electric
John,
vehicles.
what about the Democrats that nothing but Democrats who idolize this guy and bought his Tesla?
Yeah,
Yes.
And now he's giving them all the big middle finger.
It's wild.
Like that. How
man.
has that helped Tesla?
Yeah.
I saw that
Although
Tesla,
Tesla
owners
just had good earnings yesterday.
really
by the way.
good, and I saw some Tesla. It's either like a sticker I think that you put on your Tesla. It says, "I bought this before."
Yep.
Uh,
Before he went crazy,
or something
like
like that.
Yeah.
Before Elon was MAGA or something like that. So
All right, we're gonna take the last one we were gonna talk about today.
Yes.
We're gonna bounce it to the next show.
We're off. We're too close on time. Yes, we are. All right,
Yes,
let's
because
do
we
some
got
ads.
we got Jennifer McCormick waiting for us, and we want to get her on for the entire second half of the show. So stick with us through our ads, and when we come back, we're going to have Indiana's Democratic nominee for governor, Jennifer McCormick, the former superintendent of public education. She's a great candidate. She's doing great work. She's going to be on LOCPod for
the
first
last
time.
elected superintendent of public education before the
Good point.
supermajority axed it as an elected office.
So make sure you hang with us. It's going to take a couple seconds longer for the ads, and when we come back, Jennifer McCormick will be on for the rest of the show. So let's start with Powering Indiana Lake County. Our premier and studio sponsor. Powering Indiana Lake County is your source for the region's most trusted electricians. Are you thinking of finishing your basement, installing outdoor security cameras, or does your business have plans to break ground on a new project? Don't leave important projects in the wrong hands. With IBW Local 697 electricians, you're choosing the highest level of safety and reliability. Visit poweringindiana.org today to ensure your project's in the hands of skilled professionals who deliver on time and on budget. Find your electrical contractor at poweringindiana.org.
MCR Partners is your one-stop destination for top-notch expertise in economic development, finance, and planning. With a dedicated team geared up to tackle your projects head-on, they're your go-to comprehensive solution providers. Dive into the world of economic development with MCR Partners and let them guide you through the maze of opportunities. For more information, check out their website at mcrpartnersllc.com. For tailored assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to Matt Reardon at 219-741-9511.
Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltonsberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing, always on time within budget. Conveniently located in Munster and Hammond, Misprint is your partner for creating impactful visual solutions. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today.
Frankie V's. No need to dress up. It's a casual place. Bring the whole family. We have plenty of space. A hidden gem in Hammond. You don't have to drive far. Delicious food, great service, and yes, a full bar. Try our homemade pizza chips, Italian beef, sausage, marinara, and more. We have delicious pizza, pasta, and Italian foods galore. Don't go where they don't remember you. It's just not the same. Come to Frankie V's where everybody really knows your name. Visit us today at thefrankiev's.com for daily specials, full menu, and hours.
Cantrell & Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give Cantrell & Cantrell a call and schedule your consultation with someone who's in the court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife Kristen make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
Michelob Ultra is a superior light beer brewed for those who understand that it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Head over to the Cal Brew or Michelob Ultra social media sites for info on this great family of beers and enjoy the Michelob Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for Tortilla Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Whoa. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia, de todo corazón.
For decades, the Ron J. Prestomer Insurance Agency has been located right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. The Prestomer Agency specializes in a wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. The Prestomer Agency serves thousands of people and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and outdoor patio, serving its award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven food menu, and craft cocktails on draft. Their brewing equipment and production facility offer a unique backdrop for events like bridal showers, reunions, corporate parties, political events, etc., etc. With their new food truck, they can cater your corporate and private events off-site just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer.
Are you facing legal challenges and don't know where to turn? Look no further than Kuklakis Law, your trusted source for legal advice in Indiana and Illinois. Do you need help buying or selling real estate? Call Kuklakis Law. Forming a new business? Call Kuklakis Law. Injured in a car crash or at work? Call Kuklakis Law. No matter what your legal issue, call 219-671-6347 to schedule your free consultation. Who are you going to call? Kuklakis Law. Hablamos Español.
Rogers Roofing. When you want the best for your home and family, trust the best in the business. Rogers Roofing. Rogers Roofing has transformed homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland for more than 55 years, providing quality roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the best warranties in the industry. To learn more and to schedule your free consultation, visit rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 today. That's rogersroofing.com or 933-9145. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time. Thank you to our sponsors, including our studio sponsor, Power in Indiana, Lake County.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my proud pleasure to introduce Indiana's next governor, looking forward to calling you governor officially. Jennifer McCormick, the former superintendent of public instruction in Indiana and Indiana's Democratic nominee for governor, who is kicking butt and taking names right now. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome to LOCPod.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I really thought you were going to be on Skype. When I heard you were coming in, I was like, what? She's coming in? That's awesome.
I love it.
And let it be known, we were up late last night because we had our third and final debate.
Wow.
And we drove really late to be here. That's how important you two are.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I'm loving being here.
I gave her, Jill made those, by the way, the Friendship bracelets for the Taylor Swift concert. We're all going to Taylor Swift, and we gave Jennifer the one that said Fearless.
Oh, yes.
Love it.
That is
Love
great.
it.
Yeah,
great job.
We're all going to see Taylor Swift.
Swifties from
Well
McCormick.
done to get those tickets.
Yeah, we got connections.
That's right.
So, we have a lot of fans, a lot of underground fans.
Wait till we start
LOCPod.
calling you when you're the governor.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah,
governor,
we're
we
gonna
need
have
some
great
Taylor
seats.
Swift tickets.
Absolutely.
Jennifer, how's it going?
It's going really, really well.
Do you feel a lot of momentum? Because it seems like you got it.
Yeah, we got a lot of good momentum, and we've got great candidates on the ballot, which up and down, so
Yes,
that
ma'am.
helps. And we are just working as hard as we can work, but we've got great bipartisan support, and
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
what it takes.
Well, you are bipartisan yourself because you have a lot of friends on both sides of the aisle
That's right.
because you've been in this game for a long time.
Yeah,
True story?
and
I'm not trying to make you sound like you've been here forever, but you know how it's played. You've been a statewide office holder, and so you have friends in the corners of the state. Where when I was running for Senate, I was introducing myself. People already know you, which is an advantage,
huge.
right?
It's a huge advantage. I mean, and the money issue is always going to be an issue for everybody who's a Democrat on the ticket, and that's the name of the game to get your name out. So having some name recognition is incredibly helpful, and we did a great job with our team when we were at the Department of Education. So our reputation's pretty good. So
Jennifer,
it's good.
There's a difference between when you left and what's going on right now. What's going on with our public schools, and maybe in the Carmels of the world, everything's fine. But I can tell you where I sit in Hammond, our public school system is falling apart. And when you were the superintendent of public instruction, it was strong. That's a fact. I don't care what anybody wants to say, and that's only Hammond. But like I've noticed a difference since you left, and it's not a positive.
Well,
change.
and part of it is just focusing on people and getting the resources to the schools that need them the most, and making sure that it's not a control and command, it was a guide and support. And so we took that seriously, and we did a lot of work up here in Northwest Indiana and had great partnerships. And it's just, I agree, it's not the way it was.
I think just the fact that we may have someone who was not only the superintendent of the state, but you were superintendent in, your where you grew up, Yorktown or in Yorktown.
Mm-hmm.
And so having that type of person in the governor's mansion as an educator is going to be great for Hoosier students.
Yeah, absolutely. And education's over half of the state budget, so we're expensive. We're $9 billion, and so we had that responsibility of the budget, so that's certainly helpful. Knowing the players, it took me a hot minute to learn how the game was played and figure out that the rules aren't really, they're pretend. They really don't follow any rules there. So figuring out that you just had to navigate all that, and 4 years certainly taught me a lot. But education's a huge piece of our economy. It's our future, right?
Yep.
So if we don't get it right, we're in trouble. So, yeah.
It seems like, from my perspective, I've been watching your campaign from the beginning. It seems like there's something going on right now in your race. It does. It seems like maybe people are realizing that your opponent's, in my opinion, sort of a dud, and he's just like sort of a one-trick pony, just MAGA all day. But it seems like you really got momentum, and I'm rooting for you. All of us are, but objectively, I think you are really kicking butt right now. Is there something that changed?
I think the debate series has certainly helped us. I think, now that people are kind of paying attention in this last 30 days, people are also educating themselves more on that opposing ticket, which is crazy. And I know you're trying to watch your language this morning, so I'll watch mine.
I didn't do a good job, sorry.
I didn't last night during the press conference either. They're like, Jennifer, you can't cuss at the press. I'm like, but I did. And so they kind of left that out of the article. But I think people are paying attention. And I think, they've recognized our hard work, and we're working really, really hard. And I think there are a lot of moderate Republicans who, now that they're figuring out that Braun Beckwith ticket is so dangerous and so extreme, they just don't want any part of it. And so it's good for us.
I was going to ask you that question. One of the things that you may have advantage over some Democrats is the fact that you can really relate. You are an elected Republican. You can relate to Republican voters who are looking for a place to go. And they're like, I don't want to be MAGA. I don't want to be part of this, Beckwith, lieutenant governor ticket who's way out, all this craziness. You can say, look, I'm over here. I went over here to the Democratic side. Come on, vote for me.
Yeah, in Indiana, I mean, we all know for Democrats, the stars have got to align.
Yep.
And so the momentum at the change at the top of the ticket certainly didn't help, or just didn't hurt us. I mean,
Agree
that
with
was
you.
very, very helpful.
You mean when Beckwith got the
the top
spot.
of the ticket when Biden said, I'm going to
okay.
step
Yes,
aside.
absolutely.
So that
Yeah,
really
I totally agree with you, Jennifer.
that
was
helped.
huge.
And, and I'm a Biden fan, but it just was time, and it certainly,
It was obvious.
Same.
Yes. And
that
so
was huge for you. I agree. There
it was
you go.
huge.
Yeah.
It was huge. And so that certainly helped. But then, just everything as far as what my opponents are saying, and people are trying to look for that other option. I'm fifth generation farm family. I'm a military mom, and I know Tom's military. Are you military as
No,
well?
I'm not.
Okay.
But I saw your son's at West Point.
Yeah, he graduated.
Okay.
So
Wow.
go Army, beat Navy.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
they're good
man.
this year. It's going to be a good game.
They're
That's in
both
the-
good.
That's
Yeah.
in the Bronx. That's after Election Day?
That's
Mhm.
so fun. Have
That'd
you been
be
to the game?
To what? Army Navy?
The Army
Oh,
Navy?
Yeah. I go to
Oh,
most Notre Dame games.
It's better than any Swiftie
love-
concert.
Oh, come on. I love Notre Dame, but you can't compare
Well,
that
I think
to
she was
Taylor
saying the
Swift.
Army Navy game.
I've never been to the Army Navy game. no.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I would love to go.
It's the best.
Are you going?
Not this year, but I've
Yeah,
been
you're
before
busy,
several
huh?
times. Yeah. So, but
awesome.
but
You know
they
what?
love that.
That's always right in the middle of the same weekend as Indiana Society.
It's like isn't it like
Although-
Thanksgiving weekend or the weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
around there.
Yeah.
So
Oh, Army Navy's awesome.
Oh, it's a game.
I thought you meant Army Notre Dame. I go to Notre Dame games a lot. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a Purdue fan, so I can't
Yeah?
talk trash
Uh-oh.
about
Yeah.
football
My
at
son-
all.
not this
Oh,
year.
She
Not
just
this
got
year.
my vote.
Yes.
Not this
Purdue.
year. But there,
Yeah.
I think a lot of that moderate poll is because of that. A lot of people can say, okay, she's a farmer. She,
Uh-huh.
she comes from
Yeah.
the Midwest.
Yeah.
She's a military mom.
Yeah.
She was a
Yeah.
teacher, and we
Yeah.
can relate with
I
that.
love
it.
And I'm normal. Like I know
You
how
are
much
normal.
gas costs. I know how much eggs cost.
You are
I
normal.
mean,
You are-
I'm a
that's-
working person.
That's what I love about our party is
We
like
just are
our
normal.
candidates are normal.
That's right.
Right, they're
You
normal
can relate
people,
to
just
them.
like the people we live around. These are our candidates.
They're not
and-
weird.
No,
No.
they're not weird.
Well,
That's
unlike
it.
my opponent's one of the wealthiest men in
Yeah.
the U.S. Senate, and so it's like he talks about the struggle of childcare. I'm like, look, buddy, I
Yeah,
know, I
right.
was a working mom, and I know what it's like to try to
Thank
find
you.
childcare.
You've been there.
Yeah.
Well, and
So-
I think what a really good sign also that Democratic Governors Association came in big for you and wrote a big check to help get you across the finish line, which is big. It tells you that they think this is that this is a race. So that's good.
Huge. And then Governor Bashir came in big for us.
Oh,
and,
nice.
And
Didn't
so
know that.
he has been supportive from really the beginning and extremely helpful. But his team here toward the end, he had a big fundraiser for us in Kentucky, which is huge.
That's
and then he
awesome.
just called us back and said, I'm coming back to Indiana. So Governor Kelly was just here last week and
That's great.
from Kansas. And so DGA has been huge, but I can't do it without their help. I mean, I can't do it without their help. We need national help here.
We need national help in
We
Indiana.
have to. I mean, firsthand, it's just
we were
it's
frozen
so
out.
hard.
I'm happy to see that you're successful with national money because in 22 we were ignored, completely shut out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just impossible.
It's not. It's hard to change a state like Indiana with no help at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
It's
first
not
time I went
hard
to
/ nearly impossible. But,
yeah, absolutely. And the first time I went to DGA, I go trucking up there and I'm like, I'm Jennifer McCormick. I'm running for governor and I'm going to win. And they're like, what? Kind of like, that's cute. She's arrogant. Go
yeah,
sit
we've heard that
down.
one before, right?
Yeah, and the next time I kept going back saying the same thing, and then they were watching the polls and watching the momentum, and they're like, "Oh my God! I mean, she may do this." And so I said, "I've told you for 18 months."
One of the things thought was really interesting is when you picked Terry Gooden as your running mate, and
It was a great
Terry's
choice.
we
Great
Tom's
choice.
known
Normal,
Terry
by
for
the
a
way.
long
Another
time.
normal guy, another educator.
I mean,
Great
tell
choice.
us about that choice and,
Another
and why
farmer,
you
by
think
the way.
Terry's such a good partner in this race for you.
Well, we looked at some of the results that trended in the past, and we knew south of US 40. I was saying he's pulling south of 40, and they're like, well, how old is he? I'm like, what? That's got to do with anything. And they thought age 40, but this is
Wow.
US 40. This
Yeah,
is the highway.
right,
Yep.
right.
So south of 40, we knew we needed work. And so he's from southern Indiana.
Yeah.
He's a cattle farmer. He served in the state house so he can run that Senate. I needed someone who knew the players and they liked him. And so that was really the decision about keeping that. I was seen as probably more left than he is, and we needed that balance as well. So it's worked out.
I think you guys are a real moderate ticket, which I think is a winning formula. I think that I wish that people in our party, and I'm not critical, but we need to focus more in the center instead of focusing on the left, and then we'll win more races, and then we can start implementing our views. In my opinion, you got to win first.
Got to win.
Got to win first.
You got to win.
Yes,
You got to
ma'am.
win, and then you can govern.
Yes, ma'am.
You got to win.
So tell us about these last, what are we at, 11 days or something like that?
Yeah, we are all over the place. So we have a lot scheduled here in the region. We're going to go to Northeast Indiana tomorrow. We're going to go back down south. I mean, we're obviously hanging out in Marion County and doing a lot in Central as well. So we're just going to be everywhere doing a lot of get out the vote. I mean, the key is if we vote, we win. And for far too long, Indiana's 50 out of 50th in voter turnout. We are at the mercy of, our counties really being aggressive in their own get out the vote efforts. And I'm seeing some movement there. And so that's promising. But it's just all hands on deck at this point. I mean, we're traveling, we're hitting press and everything we can do.
How do you donate? How do we donate to you right now?
You can go to McCormick4, and that's FOR, McCormick4gov.com, and you can make a donation through Act Blue there.
That's
Is
awesome.
it like running against? I know that Braun can self-fund. I think he's chosen not to, which is interesting to me. But like financially, I think you guys are fairly close without the self-funding aspect. Is that true?
Yeah, and anytime we get a little bit ahead, he can pull the trigger.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
he put I think around $11 million into the primary. So
Wow.
He's kind of backed off that. Plus, it's interesting. I mean, there are times where I'm watching him, and with that extreme lieutenant governor who, now he's causing problems. The latest was in Logansport, saying he's going to deport all the legal immigrants, and now
There you
the
go.
Ku Klux Klan
No
went up
way.
yesterday.
Come on.
And passed flyers out to all the community.
Oh,
it's everywhere in
nice of 'em.
Logansport. I mean, but that's the ignorance of using your voice to create danger
Yeah.
in the state of Indiana and in
Right.
communities. But he just continues, his lieutenant continues to do that, and Braun has no control. So it's really Beckwith running that ticket. And I think Braun knows, it's going to be a struggle.
know,
It's interesting, though, because, excuse me.
No,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
No, go
because
ahead,
once
yeah.
the interesting thing is, and I know Terry doesn't want to hear this, but once you take office, the lieutenant governor's role is, a lot less. I mean, because all the focus shifts to the governor at that point, right? So in your case, I mean, and obviously you and Terry are good partners and all that, but the funny thing is Beckwith right now is a major problem, and Braun probably can't wait, to just shut him the hell up one way or another. It's incredible.
I think, of course, the lieutenant governor takes care of the Department of Agriculture for the state, I think, and also for a lot of visitors authorities and a lot of tourism and stuff like that. So I just can't even imagine if this guy gets in there. So we were rooting for you for sure. I had a question.
Well, and also don't forget 20% of our governors in the state of Indiana, which I think this is a fact that most people don't know, didn't complete their term. 20%. And
What do you mean?
They either passed away or they had to leave for other reasons.
Really?
20%. That's a lot.
crazy.
One out of
And I
five
don't like
governors.
those odds for Micah Beckwith. And
Yeah.
Mike Braun's
Oh,
one
I-
of our older candidates. And, and I
point.
don't want anything to happen to anybody, but the reality of it is it's
That's
yeah,
That's a
4
really
year,
good
8 year.
point.
I know.
That's a legitimate issue when you're talking about somebody that takes over in a case of unfortunate early
Yes.
passing. That's
Yes.
that's because I mean that's
It
what
happened to
people were talking
O'Bannon.
about with Biden.
It happened to Governor O'Bannon.
Yes.
I mean, luckily we had Governor Kernan in the wings, which
We
was a
did.
great.
We
It's
did.
a good point. You have
It
somebody
is
like
an
Governor Kernan
absolutely
there.
good point. It's an absolutely valid point.
20%.
Right.
20%.
And
You're
if
a
God
heartbeat
forbid,
away.
we're
Yeah.
not saying we want. Of course, nobody wants anything bad
That's
to
right.
happen. But if something did happen to, we'd have Micah Beckwith as our governor if that was the case, and that is truly terrifying.
Well, and think about
Terrifying.
the flip of that. I mean, think about the responsible choice you made with Terry.
Yes.
I mean, if something happened to you, right? Not that we don't want that to happen, but if look who we have coming up. Terry would be in your
Yeah.
place,
I
right?
mean,
no one
realistically-
would blink.
I mean, things happen, right?
Yeah.
So people, the environment of politics is a little crazy. So things happen. I mean, we're neither. I mean, I'm going to be 55 here. Senator Braun's a little bit older than that, and so things happen. So you have to pay attention. I paid attention to that. Like something happens to me, would I feel good about Terry Gooden? And I would.
Yes.
But I'm like, if something happens to Mike Braun, and
That
again,
is
we don't want anything to
petrifying.
happen to
No,
anybody.
of course not. But that's a legit
20%.
issue.
Oh, it's so
That's
legit.
a legit issue that
Yeah.
you're talking about because I mean, like when Biden was our candidate, that was a legitimate issue people were talking about.
That's right.
That's right. It flips the other way as well.
I had a question about the rainwater effect. So
Oh,
you've
I
got
was just gonna
a
ask that.
libertarian. Oh, sorry, John.
No.
So 4 years ago, we saw Rainwater. This is not his first rodeo. He ran for governor 4 years ago. He did really well. A lot of it they were saying was just a reaction to Holcomb's COVID policies. They thought he was too liberal. So a lot of Republicans voted for Rainwater. How do you think the libertarian candidate may impact this election?
I think he's going to take some votes from the Republicans. I mean, they're coming out very aggressively against him. The ads against him are, they're very out of line. When you go after people's family and family circumstances with their kids, and to me that is crossing a line, and that also shows you about the character of somebody.
So you're saying the ads that Braun's taken out against Rainwater?
Yes.
Is it Braun or is it the Republican Central Committee?
You know what? I'm not sure about that. Either way, it's inappropriate.
Yeah, agree totally. It doesn't matter, but usually the dirty stuff like that comes from the Central Committee in my experience.
Yeah.
Because Braun is like, I don't get my hands dirty like that.
Yeah.
BS. Right?
I mean, in the end, it's all one. And so it's out of line. And I talked to Rainwater yesterday. I also talked to the press about my feelings about it, because I know politics can get nasty, but you leave the family out of it. So, but I think Rainwater's going to bring an interesting dynamic to this, which I welcome. So
well, it says something
helpful.
When the GOP is attacking him. What does that tell you?
They're paying attention.
They're worried. They're worried that he's making too big of an impact.
Yeah, and I thought Rainwater handled the debate last night very well. He was probably classier than I would have been if someone was talking trash about my family.
Of course. Yeah. What's okay? So we've been over the last few episodes of LOCPod. I've been talking about troubles I'm having as mayor, as far as public meetings seem like they're getting rowdier lately. I don't know if you're noticing, because Hoosiers are very polite people. You know, it's not very often. When I was running for Senate, I don't remember people being total jerks to me. People were very nice the whole time, right? They may not have voted for me, but they were gentlemen and gentlemen. You know. I'm not seeing that recently. I'm seeing a lot more outspokenness, a lot more anger, and I blame it to the Trump effect personally. But I'm not sure. Are you experiencing anything like that?
Yeah, we still see it. I mean, it's no different than what I just mentioned about Logansport. You know, your words and rhetoric matter. And, you know, you've been a mayor for a long time. I've been in leadership positions a long time, and you have as well. And, I mean, we have to watch our comments. We have to watch our messaging. And the Republican Party is just, when they have no policies, the only thing they have to fall back on is we got to create chaos, and we got to create fear, and we got to be divisive, and we've got to be extreme. And they try to race as far as extreme as they can. And when you do that, you have those who start believing everything and aren't filtering, like, does it even make sense? And so we're seeing it everywhere, unfortunately. And that's the point I made last night during the debate. It's do you want that? Do we want that for 8 years? Just total chaos about use foul language, but total chaos, or do you want common sense and bipartisanship and like opportunity and optimism? I mean, there's just a difference.
That's what I want.
Yeah, I think most Hoosiers do.
Of course, absolutely. You know, what's the biggest change you've noticed? You know, obviously you ran successfully for superintendent of public instruction. You won. What's the biggest difference you notice now campaigning, 8 years later?
Yeah, and I love that question, because very few people honestly ask me, which I think is a little odd. So I'm glad you asked me. In 16, I ran because of complacency. I won with complacency because no one was really paying attention, and there was this guy that was coming on the scene at the federal level. But Trump,
excuse me,
and you know, everybody was just complacent, like you know, just not even really paying attention and not very emotionally attached, not feeling urgency. There wasn't a lot of energy. It was just complacency, blah. And I felt it everywhere. I was like, oh my gosh, this is completely different. It's not complacency. It's that energy and urgency coming together, and that's, I think, a different way to win. You can't, when you win under complacency, it's not sustainable. When you win under, I think, urgency and energy, you can sustain that and make some change. So I always say too, this is the moment for the party to make that pivot that I know you're well aware of. We need to pivot as a party. We take this opportunity and grow. And if we don't, shame on us.
Yes.
Shame on us.
Agree.
I think, you know, as a longtime Democrat, you know, both of us, we've seen where, you know, when Tom came into office in 2003, we still had the governor's mansion. I mean, Frank O'Bannon was the governor.
Speaker of the House.
The Speaker of the House, right? And it was 51-49 or whatever it was.
Down south on the river.
Yeah, it was all blue.
It was all blue.
I showed...
That's why Terry is such a good choice.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I was going to say, like, when Terry... Think about when he first got elected. Every seat on the Ohio River was blue. And it's like, I think it's there. We just got to get people back in tune and get back. And I think you becoming governor is going to be one of the things that's going to help us make sure that the Democratic Party is starting to come back, and we can show Indiana and we can show other Hoosiers, like, look, this is the party that's going to actually help you.
And take back our own messaging.
Right.
I mean, it's been hijacked. People are like, oh, you're a Democrat. You want to just spin. And I'm like, look, I saw an incredible amount of waste from all the Republicans when I was at the State House. And I was really fiscally conservative, and they were not. So it's like that whole rhetoric of fiscal conservativeness, we need to own some of that back.
Yeah.
The freedom piece, I think Kamala's done a great job of gathering some of that back. We need to continue to say we are the party of protecting your rights and your freedoms. I mean, clearly we are that party, but taking our message back, they hijacked it because they had nothing else. and we gotta take it back, and we gotta be aggressive with that.
They like to paint a picture of Democrats a certain way, and we say it all the time here on the air. And I think part of it is our fault, but another part of it is, like you said, take it back and show people, show voters that this is what the Democratic Party really stands for. So anyway, it was. You want to wrap it up, Tom?
Yeah. Can I ask one more question about the Mike? That whole incident where Braun was trying to choose his own lieutenant governor and Micah Beckwith got elected. That is extremely rare in Indiana politics, right? I mean, I don't know if you. I mean, that is the ultimate, in my opinion. It shows the ultimate weakness for Braun as a candidate. He can't even pick his own. Obviously, you chose your own lieutenant governor, and he was overwhelmingly, affirmed. I don't know. It just speaks volumes about where Braun stands in relation to his party.
Where the party is in general. I mean, they're all over the place.
They don't even know what they stand for
Well,
anymore.
and it also shows a complete lack of respect for him. So if the party already does not respect Mike Braun, and the polls show he's not well liked, they don't know the direction, they think he was not very active as a senator and did nothing for us, their party doesn't respect him and his work. Why should all of Hoosiers? Why should we? And so it just was a complete reflection of just a dismissal of him. And that's all we have seen continue on.
It's crazy. You're going to be a great governor. I can't wait to see it.
We're going to get it done. Then I get to come back.
Yes.
I can't wait to see it.
It's going to be exciting.
You're awesome.
Great.
You're a great leader. That's why you're doing so well. We appreciate you so much for coming to the region as many times you have. We appreciate you stopping by LOCPod. You're welcome anytime. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's
Jennifer McCormick, one more time. What's your website so they can donate?
McCormickforgov.com.
And that's McCormick, M-I-C-K at the end.
I just put it in chat too.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Chat. So there you go.
I'm in big, and I'm going to go another. So
Look at you.
You gotta step up at the end, big time.
Yeah,
right?
you've been amazing. Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Yeah,
You're
thank
doing a
you.
great job.
Thank
Keep
you,
up
thank
keep
you.
up the great work,
Thank
because
you.
that's what we want to see as a hardworking governor's candidate, and we see it right now. And a governor candidate that pays attention to where we are, and you're doing that. So you're doing everything you're supposed to do, and we're all praying for you. You're going to be a great governor. Thank you,
Thanks.
Jennifer McCormick, again.
Thanks for coming
Thanks for coming to the studios. Thanks for everybody for listening to LOCPod, the Midwest's most dangerous podcast. Go out there and donate to Jennifer. Make sure you vote. Have your voting plan. If you haven't voted already, get your butt to the polls. Election day is coming, and you don't have to wait till Election day. So get out there and vote. Thanks, Jill. Great to see you in the studio. Thanks, Jay Vez. Thanks for taking our bracelet with you. Hopefully you get to wear it to the Taylor Swift concert.
Love it.
As governor. It's actually before Election Day. It says fearless, and it's an accurate description. Thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome. Good job not swearing. You even said butt just now.
I did.
was
Yeah,
impressed.
I didn't swear the whole second half of the show. So thanks, Jennifer. Great to see you.
Thank you.
McCormick for governor. Thanks for coming in the studio. Take care, everybody. LOCPod's out.